my name is Alisa Weilerstein, and I'm a cellist, and I'm here to talk to you about some of my most inspiring teachers. There are many, many teachers that I had. I was very lucky to have played for many, many people, many cellists, many conductors, many pianists and violinists as well. My major teachers, however, there were, I guess, 4 cellists. The first was Richard Weiss, whom I studied with for 7 years, from the time I was 11 till I was 18. I grew up in Cleveland, and he was the assistant principal. He is the assistant principal of the Cleveland Orchestra, and I went through most of the cello repertoire with him. I learned most of the cello repertoire with him because I started playing concertos with orchestra when I was very early on, when I was about 13, 14, and so he was one of the most supportive, kind, and insightful people in every way, cellistically, musically, and personally as well. So it was a hugely important influence on me. During that time, also I worked a lot with my father, who's a violinist, and he was kind of my practice coach. So I worked with him daily for a couple hours until I was about 16, and then I kind of weed myself off. I also studied with David Finkel, the cellist of the Emerson String Quartet, of course, for 3 or 4 summers at Aspen, from the time I was 13 until I was 17. And then my last summer in Aspen, so I went every summer until I was 18 practically, and I met Thomas Grossenbacher, and he was another hugely influential teacher on me. He is the principal cellist of the Tonhalle Orchestra Zurich, and the way I met him was actually sort of funny. My mother has a sort of sixth sense about people. She's extremely perceptive, and she had never heard of him, didn't know his name, but she saw him playing principal cello of the Aspen Festival Orchestra that summer, and from afar, she was an audience member, and she just had a feeling, and so she went up to him and said, "Excuse me, my name's Vivian. Can my daughter play for you?" And and he looked at her like, "Who are you, crazy lady?" kind of thing. But luckily, he was very nice and very patient, and he agreed to hear me. So I owe her a lot for that. Well, for many things, but for that too. And anyway, so I played for him quite a lot that summer. We were together a few times a week at least, and then I also went to Zurich, where he lives, and stayed with him and studied with him for about a week or 2. And we went through a huge amount of repertoire in a very short time, worked very, very intensively. He was maybe the most detail-oriented teacher that I had, detail-oriented cellist, for sure. Okay. The last really influential long-term teacher I had was Joel Krosnick of the Juilliard String Quartet. I left Cleveland when I was 18 to go to Columbia University, and I did a joint program with Juilliard. And I was a history major at Columbia, and I was also juggling a fairly heavy concert load. And so I didn't see Mr. Krosnick as often as I would have liked. He was incredibly supportive, incredible musician, and I just learned so much from him. And also watching him interact with other students was very, very fascinating for me. And I feel incredibly lucky to have so many fantastic people and musicians and cellists and